Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is speaking to Gary Corrin, the Managing Director of Specialized Exhibitions, which develops and puts on the very big Electra Mining Africa show every 2 years. With COVID-19, there's been a change this year, and the name has changed as well. And we're having Electra Mining Africa 2020 Connect. And this is going to be a digital connection. And Gary Corrin is going to speak to me about it right now. Hi, Gary.
Naturally, we were very disappointed in having to cancel Electra Mining Africa 2020 this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Interesting enough, it's the first time in 48 years that the show won't go in its regular slot on every second year in the first or second week of September. So that being said, and with the reality that we're faced with at the moment, we decided to, amongst ourselves, after a lot of consultation amongst various stakeholders, exhibitors, some visitor groups, and a lot of our media partners and trade associations, we thought it's a good idea to use the opportunity of the week where the show would have been held in a face-to-face environment just to connect with the various stakeholders and to pick up the conversation that doesn't end, regardless of the physical realities that we faced with in terms of lockdown, in terms of various restrictions to the economy. The conversation, even during lockdown, has gone on and has continued. And fortunately, the economy is slowly starting to open. We're back down to level 2. We want to use the week as an opportunity to use some of the technology that we've come across and we've all been exposed to in terms of connecting with people, connecting with multipliers of business, and really just keep a conversation going in terms of stimulating trade in our respective industry sectors. So that's really the motivation behind the week, to stay connected with our various stakeholders. And, you know, as exhibition organizers and as media, we facilitate conversations, we facilitate trade, we facilitate face-to-face meetings that ultimately lead to hopefully business transactions in whatever form or guise that takes. So we're hoping that even though it won't be done face-to-face at NASREC for those 5 days, this conversation in its various facets and forms will just help keep our industry sectors at the forefront of the economy and just stimulate the conversations that will hopefully lead to that trade.
And you'll have webinars and you'll have showcases. Just give us a bit of insight into that.
During the course of the show, we were looking at hosting theme days. We were, which is a concept we introduced for the first time in 2018. So we will be looking at areas like safety and security, automation, women in industry, you know, topical drivers of activity in various industry sectors. And we will be hosting then digital seminars in partnership with media and with trade associations on each of the days that they potentially would have been theme days at the show itself. So really using that as a platform to then get respective parties engaging with one another around those topics. We're partnering with at least 4 or 5 different associations, and as you say, that's exactly the driver behind it, is to get those associations and their constituent members to have engagement, to raise issues, to raise conversations, and let's discuss those during the course of the week. That's really the driving force behind the concept of the Electra Mining Africa Connect Week. In the digital environment, firstly, it's important to get keynote presenters that are subject matter experts. So that's again why we are partnering so closely with associations. They have access to their members who are subject matter experts. And then what we are creating is, in these digital webinars, we'll have a panel of invitees that have been selected through their industry associations that can talk to the topics that have been selected. And they will then present some factual information, and then there will typically be a facilitator who will ask questions and probe. And then once you're in a webinar type environment, there's always an opportunity to to ask questions real time, to be able to engage on topics that are important and that relate to the subject matter experts and their presentations. So it will be an opportunity to start dialogue on key topics that have been presented. There will definitely be an opportunity to pose questions and to ask presenters to address those issues.
And how much is this going to cost participants?
Well, that is one of the upsides. It's a very cost-effective medium in terms of having the conversation. And the whole idea here, there's no commercial interest in it. In fact, and I need to thank Creamer Media and our other media partners as well for the inputs to help facilitate exactly this week. There's no commercial cost associated for participation with any of the attendees. You can log in, you can listen, you can ask questions, you can share ideas, you can download and you can even record sessions that have been presented on the webinars and refer to them at a later stage.
And when will we be seeing you live again?
The live events will be happening again in September, the 5th to the 9th of September 2022, which will give everybody an opportunity to regather and hopefully adapt in terms of the new normal from an eventing perspective and deliver an extremely successful 2022 event.
And we're talking about the biggest exhibition in Africa here. What are the numbers you normally attract to those live shows?
Well, interesting. Yeah, that's another unique thing about the live eventing and the face-to-face type platform. We typically get anything between 35 to 38,000 square meters net at Expo Center, which is a substantial type show. 800 to 850 exhibitors, including internationals from at least 20 to 23 different countries. So that's from an exhibiting perspective. And then from a visiting perspective, we get anything from 30 to 35,000 trade visitors from a broad cross-section of South African manufacturing, mining, and power generation and general industry that attend the show over the 5 days. So, if you add exhibiting numbers into that, you're looking at anything between 45 to 50,000 people during the course of those 5 days from an exhibiting, visiting, and presenting perspective. Electra Mining Africa is really a South African brand in the truest sense of the word. We've been so almost blessed in a way that people have embraced the brand. To be able to share and keep the interests of our respective industries at the forefront of what we do, even during challenging times like this, is deeply rewarding, and that's what reputable brands and events are about.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly, speaking to Gary Corrin, the Managing Director of Specialized Exhibitions, about the Electra Mining Africa 2020 Connect from the 7th to the 11th of September.